What if Season 2 was never about saving the galaxy, but about testing who's truly worthy to reshape it? Behind every choice, every death, every vision, was the shadow of the Seldon Plan evolving in secret. But now, with the galaxy on the edge of chaos, the plan faces its greatest threat yet, and maybe that's exactly what Hari wanted. The ending of Season 2 didn't just close a chapter, it opened a war on multiple fronts. On one side, we have Gaal, no longer the unsure psychic we met in Season 1. She's stepping into leadership, balancing fear and destiny. On the other, Salvor, her daughter from a future she never lived, is facing visions of her own death and a future that may already be set in stone. Then there's Hari Seldon, or rather, versions of him. Whether he's dead, digital, or hiding, one thing is clear. Hari isn't done yet, and his plan is far more complex than anyone imagined. Empire is crumbling from within. Brother Day is losing control, and the clone dynasty is breaking apart. The introduction of Queen Sereth, smart, strategic, and deeply suspicious, brings tension into the heart of Empire. Her knowledge threatens to expose secrets that were never meant to be discovered. Brother Dusk and Brother Constant are already doubting the core of their identity. And in the middle of it all stands Demerzel, more than just a servant. She's a machine with a mission, and her loyalties are starting to shift. She knows the plan better than anyone. And she may be the only one holding Empire together, but even bigger than Empire's internal war is the emergence of the Mentalics. These are humans with powerful psychic abilities hidden for generations. Their connection to Gaal and the Second Foundation hints that a new force is rising, one that could protect or destroy the future. These Mentalics are not under Hari's control. They don't follow logic, they follow instinct and power. That means psychohistory, Hari's mathematical prediction of the future, might no longer apply. And if the math is broken, then the future is up for grabs. The vault, once just a mysterious symbol of Hari's genius, is now a center of prophecy and decision. It chooses who can enter, who can lead, and who can shape the galaxy. It's clear that it's not just following a plan, it's adjusting, reacting to the chaos. That means even Hari's design is flexible, alive, and maybe even sentient in some way. The vault gave us a major clue. The plan was never about control, it was about trust. About who steps up when everything falls apart, Salvor's sacrifice. In the future where she dies so Gaal can face the coming danger changes everything. It's a reminder that even those closest to the plan can't escape its cost. Her death isn't just personal, it might be the final push that drives Gaal into becoming the true leader of the Second Foundation. Or maybe it's the push that breaks her entirely. And then there's the biggest mystery, the Mule. He hasn't shown his face yet, but his shadow is everywhere. Gaal's visions hint that he's coming, that he'll bend minds, rewrite loyalty, and crush resistance. He's not just a villain, he's a force that doesn't fit the math. He doesn't belong in the plan, which means he could undo everything Hari spent lifetimes building. Season 2 ends with questions, betrayals, and rising threats. But more importantly, it shows us one truth. The Seldon Plan isn't a straight path, it's a battlefield. And in Season 3, every character will have to choose which side of the future they're willing to fight for. Not all revolutions are loud. Some begin with a whisper inside the mind of prediction, a doubt, a secret plan buried under centuries of control. Foundation Season 3 won't just shift power, it will tear apart the old ways, and those left standing won't be who you expect. Gaal is no longer just a bystander to Hari Seldon's plan, she's now a centerpiece. Her visions of the future, especially of the Mule's rise and her daughter's death, put her in a unique position. She knows too much, but still not enough to stop what's coming. She's stepping into the role of a leader, possibly even more influential than Hari himself. But leadership comes with a price, and the question is, will she follow the path of logic or let emotion break the plan? Her powers, growing stronger with every moment, may become the foundation of the Second Foundation. But she's surrounded by danger, mistrust, and the burden of saving billions. At the same time, we'll likely see the official birth of the Second Foundation. Hari's hidden creation meant to guide civilization from the shadows. These are not warriors. These are manipulators, thinkers, and psychics who operate with silence and precision. But in Season 3, silence may not be enough. Their existence will be threatened by exposure, especially if Empire or the Mule begins to sense them. What was once hidden must now act, and that action could be deadly. Meanwhile, Empire is falling into chaos. Brother Day's loss of control over the genetic dynasty is only the beginning. The cracks that started in Season 2, his romance with Queen Sereth, the assassination attempts, the rebellion within the Cleons are about to turn into open collapse. Without the belief in perfect genetic clones, the myth of the Empire is crumbling. And with Demerzel showing signs of independent thought, especially after being forced to kill one of the Cleons, there's a real chance she could betray her programming. The machine meant to guard the dynasty might be the one who ends it. We might see a new kind of Empire in Season 3, one ruled by fear instead of order. Brother Day, threatened by loss of power, could become unpredictable and violent. Or he could be replaced entirely. Queen Sereth is clever and bold if she survives. She could manipulate the chaos into her own advantage. The old balance between day, dusk, and dawn is gone. Now it's a fight for who gets to define what Empire means. In a post-Seldon galaxy, then there's Salvor. Whether in flashbacks or another unexpected twist, she's too important to disappear forever. Her choices, especially saving Gaal instead of herself, are echoes that will shape the future. If she appears again, it may be as a memory, a warning, or even part of Gaal's subconscious guidance. But her absence creates space for Gaal to rise, space for others to step up. Or for the Mule to take advantage of the vacuum. The Mule's arrival could mark the first time psychohistory truly breaks. Everything until now followed the curve of probability, the pattern Hari Seldon saw in the data. But the Mule is emotion. Chaos, mutation. He doesn't just conquer with weapons, he conquers with fear, persuasion, and control over the mind. If he appears in Season 3, expect everything to unravel, alliances to flip, truths to be exposed, and faith in the plan to collapse. By the end of Season 3, we may not have an empire or even a united foundation. We may have multiple fractured powers, each claiming to be the true savior of humanity, Gaal's foundation. Hari's original vision, the Empire's leftovers, and the Mule's new order. The galaxy won't be run by numbers anymore. It will be ruled by whoever survives what's coming next. Some truths in Foundation aren't shouted, they're whispered in quiet symbols, hidden in background designs or buried in one-line dialogues that most viewers miss. Season 3 won't introduce the biggest twists out of nowhere. The truth is, they've been there since Season 1, you just didn't see them. Until now, let's start with the vault. At first glance, it looked like a strange monolith floating. Glowing, mysterious, but look closer. The markings on its surface are not random. Some of them resemble ancient mathematical symbols, others match patterns seen in the artifacts of the first Foundation. These aren't decorations, they're a code, and in Season 2, when the vault spoke and shifted based on emotional responses, we saw its real purpose. It's not just a storage unit for Hari Seldon's messages. It's reactive, it's evolving, and maybe it's alive. Or worse, it's watching. Then there's the location of the second Foundation. Hari's clues seem scattered, but the show keeps hinting at one word, Star's End. While that name sounds poetic, in the universe of Foundation it's a very specific place. It was often mentioned in passing dialogue, sometimes even with music changes or long pauses, which is no accident. Directors use sound to spotlight things, and when Star's End is said, the screen always holds just a bit longer. That tells us this is a place of deep importance, possibly even where the Mule will rise or fall. Another clue is hidden in Gaal's visions. These aren't just future events, they're warnings. In one sequence, when Gaal sees herself surrounded by ruins and smoke, she looks upward, and in the corner of the screen, for just a second, a distorted star pattern flashes. It's the same pattern found on the walls of the Mentalics' lair. That implies Gaal's vision, and the Mentalics are linked deeper than we think. Maybe her power comes from more than just psychic ability. Maybe she's being guided. Let's talk about Demerzel. She acts calm, logical, and deeply loyal to Empire. But if you pause during her moments alone, especially in Season 2, you'll notice something chilling. She speaks to herself. Not in a crazy way, but as if responding to a hidden command, or perhaps to a personality we haven't met. And in one scene, when she stares at the mirror after killing a Cleon, her reflection blinks. And she doesn't. That's not a glitch, that's a visual clue. Something inside Demerzel is waking up. Her programming might be breaking down. Or she may have known the end of Empire was coming, and has been planning her own rise from the start. Even the Mule may have already been introduced. Many fans believe we haven't seen him yet, but what if we have? In Season 2, a nameless man with strange eyes watches Gaal from a crowd. He's never mentioned again. But concept art for Season 3 teased a villain with the same features, piercing, almost glowing eyes and a scar across the cheek. If that figure was the Mule, he's been watching our heroes from the shadows, waiting, learning, and now he's ready to move. Finally, there's Hari himself. Everyone thinks there's only one version of him, either digital or cloned. But here's a theory backed by clues. There may be three. In the vault, he speaks like a god. In the Prime Radiant, he appears as a guide. But in Gaal's memories, there's a more emotional, more human Hari. The show may be hiding multiple consciousnesses, splintered parts of Hari's mind. One follows the plan, one wants freedom, and one might betray them all. Season 3 won't pull surprises out of thin air. It's been planting seeds from the beginning. Symbols, sounds, shadows. The real game isn't what's shown, it's what's hinted. And if we go back and look closer, the future has already been written. We just weren't paying attention. Asterisk, what if failure was always part of the plan? What if the chaos, the betrayals, even the rise of the Mule weren't accidents, but pieces of Hari Seldon's true strategy? In Foundation, every breakdown might be a breakthrough, and every collapse could be carefully designed to rebuild something stronger. The Seldon Plan was never about control, it was about influence. Hari didn't want to predict every single moment in the galaxy. That would be impossible. Instead, he created a path of probabilities, a roadmap, where the most likely outcomes still favored the survival of civilization. But here's the problem. People aren't predictable. And now, with the appearance of powerful individuals like Gaal, Salvor, and the Mule, the math isn't holding up. So, is the plan failing? Maybe, but maybe it was meant to. Let's look at Gaal. She was never in the original calculations. Her abilities, her visions, her connection to the future, all of it disrupts psychohistory. Hari could have seen her as a threat, but instead he trusts her. He even allows her to access the Prime Radiant. Why? Because perhaps she represents the plan's evolution, a fusion of data and emotion, logic and instinct. The plan was created by a man, but maybe it needed a woman like Gaal to finish it. Not through numbers, but through choice. Now, take Demerzel. She was programmed to serve the Empire and protect the Cleon dynasty. But what happens when the dynasty becomes the threat to survival? In Season 2, she's forced to kill one of the clones. She cries afterward, showing a crack in her code. Or is it? What if Demerzel is also following a second layer of the Plan one only she and Hari understood? A secret path where Empire must fall for civilization to rise again. Then we have the Mule. He's not just a villain. He's an anomaly, a living glitch in psychohistory. His powers break the rules. But maybe that's the point. Hari warned that the plan could be undone by a singular, unpredictable force. But what if he planned for that force all along? Maybe the Mule isn't the threat to the plan. Maybe he's the final test. The trial by fire to reveal whether the galaxy deserves the future the plan offers or must be reshaped through struggle. And what about Hari himself? There's a theory gaining ground that Hari has split his consciousness across time and space. One version in the vault, one in the Prime Radiant, one in Gaal's visions. Maybe each version has a different piece of the plan, and when they finally come together, the real goal will be revealed, not just the survival of knowledge, but the rebirth of purpose, not just a second foundation, but something even more radical, a third path. So, is the plan failing? Or is it adapting? Maybe Season 3 will show us that the greatest strength of psychohistory isn't its accuracy but its flexibility. that it was never about predicting a perfect future, but building a future that can survive imperfection. A future where power is tested, trust is earned, and hope is forged through fire. One thing is certain. If Hari Seldon's ghost is still guiding events, then every twist, every death, every revolution might not be a failure of the plan. It might be the plan, finally, working exactly as intended.